The Gift of Tears, believe it or not, is a 10-week devotional where readers journey through life stories of learning to trust God in difficult circumstances. The Gift of Tears. Wow, author Annette Ford, she's also a pastor, she's a teacher, she's spent years in ministry, and she encourages us to experience tears as a blessing, not a burden. And she's here now to tell us more. Well, welcome to 700 Club Canada, Annette. Nice to have you with us.
It's great to be here with you, Lori.
Well, so often we look at tears in our life as they're like we're at the rock bottom, the lowest of lows. How can anything good come of this? I've probably said that a time or two. But you've written this devotional resource called The Gift of Tears. Why did you write it?
I wrote it because I feel like a lot of people, similar to me, struggle with everyday life, with anxiety, with stress, with burdens. And yet, a lot of times, we tend to say, I don't want to bother God with that. Or maybe we feel like God doesn't want us to come to Him with our deepest problems because we feel like he wants us to be perfect and to be well put together. And so we sense that I can't really tell God what I'm feeling, because if I do, then he might reject me in some way. But God wants to just reach out to us and say, come to me with your burdens, come to me as you are, and I will take your tears, I will take your burdens, and I'll make something beautiful from them. And so I wrote this book to share my experiences and my joys and my struggles throughout the years, to help people to understand that it's okay to come to God as we are, because He will make something beautiful from the tears in our life.
Well, whenever we write something, it's always best when it's from an honest place, and this is from an honest place.
Mhm.
So, what happened in your life, Annette, that enabled you to see tears as a blessing, not a burden?
Well, let me tell you just a little bit about my background first. As I grew up in India and then had grade one in the States and moved to Italy when I was 12 after 2 years in Brandon, Manitoba, and then Germany for high school and the States for university, and then Toronto when I was newly married. And then my husband and I moved over to Kazakhstan, so Hungary first and then Kazakhstan. And throughout all of these years, there were stresses. Sometimes we lived in places that were stressful. Sometimes there were things that happened, concerns for my children, concerns for life in many different ways. And and so in those times, what I did was I turned to God with my stresses. I turned to God with my pain in my journals, and from that came the I guess the depth of experience to be able to say, yes, I have something to share with others, and I would like to give some of the experiences, some of the times I've shared with God to other people, so that they also can be encouraged. And it actually was in the writing of this book that I realized that tears are a gift. As I looked at the things that I had written, I saw that so many of the times that I wrote my deepest thoughts or the experiences that I had were times of real stress. And kind of like David in the Bible, just saying, God, where are you? God, why is this so hard? And and like David, coming to a place in the end of saying, but I will still trust God.
Mm.
I will push through, even in the times where I'm struggling with a lack of joy or lack of purpose, or even a feeling of suffering, that God is the one who will bring me through.
Oh, I love that so much, Annette. I think we all need that reminder. I mean, wow, you have certainly faced some adventurous life experiences, but that would not come without pain and discomfort.
Mhm.
And I love this, what you say in your book. You say, without tears, the garden of our heart becomes parched and barren. That's why God offers us the gift of tears. Explain what you mean by that.
I want you to just imagine what our world would be like if there was no rain. If we had no rain, there would be no growth, there would be no trees, no flowers, no beauty. We would have nothing to drink. We would live in a desert. And I believe that our hearts are like that. That if we just had happiness, if we just had an easy life, then we wouldn't need to come to God. We wouldn't really feel like I need to trust God because we would have it all together. And so I believe that God gives us the hard times, the tearful times to nourish the land, the ground of our hearts so that we can grow and we can become beautiful. And so he takes those really hard times when we give them to him and say, God, make something beautiful
Yeah.
of my life.
Yeah.
Then he takes those things and turns our really hard times into something that's precious
Yeah.
and beautiful for him.
Oh, I've experienced that too in my life, Annette. And I
Mhm.
believe tears, it softens your heart. Where your heart's soft, God can do anything with you.
Mhm.
We just have a very short time here. What would you want to say to somebody right now who's maybe struggling? They don't see tears as a gift. How would you encourage them? What would you encourage them to do?
I encourage anyone to just stop, take some time today. Whatever you're doing, take some time today. And if you're a journaler, journal, just write out to God, say, God, this is what I'm actually dealing with today. Maybe you're a runner, go and run and just talk to God as you're running. Maybe you're a gardener and you can experience the joy of gardening, but also realizing, yes, Lord, I'm struggling with this right now. I'm struggling with my finances, with my marriage, with my job, with my kids, whatever it is that you're struggling with today, and just say, Lord, I come to you today with everything laid out. I come to you today to say, I'm here to meet you
Yeah.
because I know that you will make something beautiful from my life.
Yeah.
And if I can, I would encourage you to read my book as
Yeah.
well. It is a collection of my stories and experiences that I've gone through in my life. But you can also take the exercises and make it your own. It's like you're writing your own story, your own Gift of Tears book as you're working through the activities there, because God can take the various topics. Like, say you're feeling a lack of purpose, you can go to the purpose chapter and just open it up and say, Lord, I need to find something from you today about the purpose in my life, and then pray that God will speak through you as you read through what I've written and then work through the exercises as well. Because God is faithful. He
Yes.
will bring joy out of your tears.
Yes, he will. And I do encourage you to get Annette's book, The Gift of Tears. To find out more information on it, go to 700club.ca. It's all there. It's very practical and will walk you through from tears, maybe as a burden, to tears as a blessing. Thank you, Annette, for being with us today.
Thank you.